What's up, guys? Just sipping on a fruit smoothie, you know. It's 2018. Fruit smoothies are pretty cool, right? I don't really know much about that. Today, guys, I'm going to be showing you all how I edited this picture here. If you guys came here from my Instagram, I want to thank you for clicking that link in my bio. If you came here from the blog, I want to thank you for your continued interest to see how I made this picture and in the editing process of it. So, anyways, guys, without further ado, I'm just gonna hop over into my computer and I'm gonna run you guys through my thought process as well as my Photoshop editing process. So let's go ahead and head over there. Alright, what's up, peasants? So today we're gonna be working in Photoshop. I'm gonna show all you idiots how to use the program, so let's get to it. Alright guys, so over here at my computer, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Photoshop and bring the image in. Alright, so it's this one right here. Now, I have already previously done some adjusting to this. As you can see here, you guys just want to take a quick look at that. I'll slowly go through things. So you've got that stuff there. I changed up the temperature a bit, brought down the exposure, brought up the contrast a bit, up on the highlights, up on the shadows to get the stuff back inside the parking garage popping out. Brought down the whites because it was pretty harsh sunlight on the guy sitting up there. Brought up the blacks a bit. Clarity, I usually put clarity on like 45, but for this picture, because there's so much texture and everything, I didn't want to make it look so like structured. It just makes it look, it's kind of overly done if I did it on 40, so that's why I just kept it down at 20. Sharpening, I always do the same thing for this essentially. I put the sharpening on 65, and I bring up the luminance noise reduction to 30. That way it kind of smooths stuff out a bit. Did some adjusting here to saturation. Just brought up some of the main colors in the picture to kind of make things pop a bit. Also changed the hue on those same colors just to make things kind of look more pleasant, in my opinion. Remove any chromatic abrasion and also enable the profile correction because I was using a native Sony lens, so any type of profile corrections. We're going to go ahead and hit open image and get to work on this. Alright, so just like in the other video, I'm going to start from the bottom down here and go up. So I mean, you guys will kind of get this over time. I kind of follow a very similar editing path for every picture. Inside each adjustment, I just do things differently depending on the picture. But as far as kind of my steps that I take, they're almost the same every time. It's just what I do inside of each step varies between picture to picture. Let's go ahead and get started with selective color. Change this to neutrals. Play with these a bit until I get it looking how I want it to look. Let's see, I want to keep an overall kind of a warm feeling. So let's see, I don't want it to be any. I don't want that green to be in there. Maybe I'll keep this one at -1. And then the yellows. I'm actually gonna bring the yellows down a bit, -1. I don't want it to be like overexposed looking. I want things to stay looking as natural as possible, but just kind of accentuate the colors that are already there and maybe change things up a little bit, but not too much. Alright, and then blacks, bring down a bit here. So in the neutrals, I'm going to bring the blacks down a bit, and then you'll see right now we're going to hop into another selective color and I'm going to go to the blacks. It does a lot of change here. So like if I do that, as you can see, like that makes a huge difference. So you can't do much in this picture, in this shot, with selective color and blacks. I'm gonna go ahead and get some color in the parking garage back there. You guys can see that. So I'm gonna throw a -2 on the cyans, magentas. I'll say magentas, I'll keep those -2 as well. -2 on the yellows also. Here I'm gonna actually bring these to -4. I'm just trying to get it so that you can see inside of the parking garage behind where he's sitting. I feel like that gives a overall pretty cool mood to the picture. Next, we're gonna hit photo filter. I'm gonna keep it on warming 85, and I'm gonna actually change this down to 15. I don't want it to be too warm, at least just from that layer. Alright, and then next we're going to hit up black and white, change this to luminosity, and click the little tint box there, and we're going to play with some of the colors in here. Mainly this is going to affect like the bricks, and then the color on his jean outfit. Bring up these reds just a little bit, not too much at all. Yellows, bring those up a bit. 70 looks good. I don't want the red wall to like be so eye drawing. I more so want the eye to focus on obviously him who's sitting up on this ledge. So there really is not any green in this shot, so I'm just going to shoot those all the way up. I don't really want any green in the shot, so if there is any green, it's going to push it to white, which is not a big deal. Blues, alright, so these are going to affect his outfit. I would like to kind of make his outfit pretty eye-catching, so I want to really darken what he's wearing, that way it contrasts well on the concrete he's sitting on. There is not much, hardly any magentas, you know, here, so alright, cool. So I'll give you guys a quick before and after we have so far. Whoops, wrong button. I meant to press Alt, I pressed the Windows key. Alright, so that's what we started with right out of the camera raw filter, and thus far with these 4 layers we're at this. So before, after, not bad, we're getting there. Next we're gonna go into, I'm gonna see if color balance is going to be necessary in this picture. I'm going to start it with midtones. I want this picture, like I said, to kind of be on the warmer side. So alright, so I think if I bump that at like +1, maybe -1, more towards the yellow, so -2. See, that didn't do a lot, but it did a little bit. And if you guys remember from my last video, what I try to do with these layers in Photoshop is on each layer make everything, you know, you don't want any like drastic changes, because that kind of defeats the purpose of having all of these different things. You want to do small subtle changes that, you know, at the end of it adds up to something, you know, substantial. So I mean, you can by all means, if you have a specific goal, you're putting it into Photoshop because you want to just do selective color. For someone like me who does, you know, 100% of their photo editing in Photoshop, like I don't ever start in Lightroom and then come to Photoshop to like mask anything out or anything like that. I start in Photoshop and I finish in Photoshop. So that's why I follow this kind of very subtle layering method. That's just my partake on it. So do what you will, but if you like the way I do things, that's how I do it. Alright, I'm going to do one more color balance. I'm going to go ahead and mess with the highlights just a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing again, kind of see what we're working with here. Kind of light. I think I'll hit it with a +2. Maybe we'll do a +1, and we'll do a +2 there. Oh, wait a second. Why is it all the way down there? You guys got to watch that too. So you see what just happened there? This layer got added way down here because when I click this, I was already selected down here, and wherever you're selected, it'll put the layer right above whatever your current selected layer is. Make sure you're not, you know, doing stuff out of order, because everything, like I said, builds on itself. So if you have a layer that's out of place and you go to make an adjustment and the new layer you just added isn't in the right place, your outcome won't be what you thought it was, because, you know, different adjustments will look differently if they're placed in different spots. I'm pretty sure you guys get it. Just make sure that your layers are stacked on top of each other, not just like randomly placed. On to the next thing. We just hit color balance, so hue, saturation. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring things down a bit, not a ton, maybe like a -2. For the lightness, I'm going to bring that at -1. Okay, so nothing, like I said, nothing crazy. I'm going to actually go to the blues a bit, and I'm going to saturate that. Because like I said, I want his jean whole outfit is like denim kind of to pop out, so maybe do a +2 on the hues. Okay, cool, just to bring it a little bit brighter. Let's see, maybe I'll mess with the reds just a little bit, because there's lots of red in this picture. So we're gonna go ahead and desaturate that, -7. I want to put that at 1, and then bring the hue with that. You don't want to do that. Definitely not. Alright, I think -1 looks fine there. Alright, so that's a before and after of that layer. Nothing insane. It kind of accentuates the blue there, messes with these reds a bit, not a ton. Alright, we're almost done with this picture, guys. So after hue and saturation, next on the list is curves. A lot of people are scared of this. Oh my goodness, it's the curves table. What the heck is that? It's a graph. I don't like math. Don't give me a graph. So essentially, guys, what I did with this is I put my 3 dots, as you guys, if you saw the last video, then you'll know that. But I put my 3 dots there, and I just kind of go left to right. I like to bring this up a little bit, or the darks, blacks, whatever. It just brings them up a bit, kind of puts like a little bit of a film look on it. I like that a little bit. So with these, I'm going to bring... I'm not going to change this much at all, honestly. Probably going to bring like up like 2 notches here, bring that guy kind of like diagonally out just a bit, and bring these highlights up. Yeah, I like that. Alright, so 207, that's fine. This isn't gonna do really anything besides make it look bad, so don't mess with that. And that highlight did a good bit. Is my computer not set to? Okay, so let's see. Lastly, we're going to go to the levels here. I usually bring this down to 0.97. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put this on 1. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to bring this back. I'm not going to mess with levels at all, actually. Alright, so far we have, this is the after, that's before. After, before. So what I also like to do sometimes is after I edit this, I'll kind of take a step back and just look at it from a distance and kind of ask myself, does it look visually pleasing? And one thing you guys got to keep in mind, the majority of photographers nowadays are posting things on Instagram. So when you are editing these pictures, whether you're doing it in Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever, it's good if you zoom it out and make it look small, as if it was on a smartphone. Because when you're looking at it up big like this, I mean, no one's going to be seeing it in that size. You see what I'm saying? So if you zoom it out and kind of look at it, from the size of as if it were on your smartphone, then you can kind of ask yourself, okay, does it look the same zoomed out? And actually, matter of fact, you can change that to white. For me, my Instagram feed is, the back of my photos are all on a white canvas. I mean, for me right now, I like the way this looks. I kind of want to bring up the shadows a bit more behind him so you can see inside, and it just gives the photo a bit more depth. Actually, make sure you're selected onto your actual image. I'm going to go up to filter, go to camera raw filter, so maybe put it on like plus 34, just see how that looks. Aha, that's what I like to see. I like that. I like that. Actually, you know what? Maybe even a little bit more. Boost them up 15. Alright, I like that. That's a pretty sweet shot. Alright, now, this video is going to be about the same length as my other videos, and I'm saying that only because I want to remove this cable right here. Actually, you know what? Let me zoom back out. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna remove this cable, guys, and essentially, like, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. But I'm not going to show you the whole entire process, because you'd be sitting here for like 30 minutes watching me just meticulously edit this thing out, and I don't think you guys want to see that. So like I said, I'll show you what I'm going to do, and that way if you guys want to do it yourself, you can do it. One thing you want to do is when you go to do any type of manipulation to your picture, if you've already done a bunch of editing to it, you want to go ahead and just merge that as visible and then duplicate your layer. It's just kind of like the non-destructive way to do stuff in Photoshop when it comes to any manipulations. So after the rant, we're gonna go ahead and be on a clone stamp tool right here, and essentially all I'm gonna do is press Alt, and then I'm gonna select the layer that I want to sample from, or select the area of the picture that I want to sample from, and then kind of just like brush this away. So essentially I'm just gonna repeat that same thing for this whole entire cable that goes across the brick wall. So I'm going to come back to you guys once I've finished doing that, and I'll see you all in just a moment. Alright guys, and final touch, bring over my amazing Alpha Captures logo. Oh, I hate when that happens. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to hit Control T, Command T on Mac, bring this down to about that size should do. And I'm just going to center it in the corner there. Alright guys, so that's it. That thing is good. You guys need to go to the store and get you some of those Dole fruit smoothies in a pouch. You'll thank me later. So hopefully you guys like that. If you guys did like it, make sure you leave a like on the video. Also comment down below anything you guys want to tell me about or chat about. I'd love to hear from you. So I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.